Okay, I'm up on the roof now. Up on the roof. And this is the situation. Apparently, it's my work. Let's see, can I see where I'm looking at? I can't see with the monitor. Let's see, where's my hand? Oh, there it is over there. So apparently, it is my work. There was a leak before caused by the tarp being ripped where it was folded at the hardware store. But I fixed that leak, and then I put this together, and apparently that is where the leak is. So it is my fault after all. So what I'm doing right now is I have this prop under here to get the rest of the water out of the tank as quickly as possible so I can fix this. Now, I haven't had water in the house since yesterday afternoon when I started working on this, maybe 2 o'clock or so. Let's see, I stopped for lunch at around 2, so I started before that working on it, and then stopped for lunch, finished working on it, but all that time the water was shut off. And then when I got done around 4 and looked at Google, it said you got to wait 24 hours. So I'm still lacking, well, it's, I don't know what time it is right now. It's afternoon, or maybe it's exactly noon. Looking at that sun up there in the shadows. Yeah, maybe it's not even noon yet. Anyway, the point is I don't know what the point is. The point is I'm draining the water out so I can get this thing hooked back up so I can get water again. It'd be nice to take a shower. In the meantime, Fuego is shrouded in clouds, and the neighbor also, Acatenango. This Acatenango is the mountain tourists go up to look, then to watch, oh, wait a minute, I can't see where my fingers are, to watch over and hopefully see Fuego go off. And there's some good videos on YouTube of people catching that when it goes off. The sad news for me is about 23 years ago, when I first came to San Antonio, Aguascalientes, I looked at that mountain, and the people that I was living with had a couple sons that were teenagers at the time. I think one was almost 20, maybe. And they told me, yeah, you can climb up on Acatenango. You can see the volcano from there. At that time, there were no tours that anybody I know of knew about. And I said, well, that would be a great place to have a tour. We could have a base camp over there. They said they had a cousin or uncle or something over there in that area. I said we could have a base camp over there, take the people there, spend the night, and the next morning early before the sun comes up, start hiking up the mountain. And this was our plan. I actually, right after that, I was at the marketplace in Antigua, and they have, they call it pacas, where they sell all kinds of used stuff. It's the clothing, shoes, anything like that some Goodwill or something like that, any kind of a secondhand store in the United States, secondhand clothing, they give it away. From what I understand, they donate it, and then those people bring it down here and sell it and make a few bucks. Maybe they make a lot of bucks, I don't know. Anyway, I found a pair of Doc Marten boots, really nice boots, for like, I think it was 75 quetzales. 75 quetzales, that's like $10. Anyway, I bought those things, and we were planning on doing it, but then all kinds of, let me not go into that, but some uncomfortable things were happening at the house, and I had to move out. And then I didn't feel comfortable going back and trying to start a business with those people. We're still friends, but it was just a weird situation at the time. Anyway, it was my plan to have a tourist business going up the top of WATERTANK to watch fuego. At that time, there was none. It was, I think, about 3 years later that I had a little restaurant here in San Antonio, Aguascalientes, called Big Frank's. My name isn't Frank, but the Franks were big at my restaurant. And some guy came in and said, "Can I put up a poster in here?" "Yeah, sure. On that wall right over there." And I had a special place set up for people to put up their advertisements and notes and whatever. Bulletin board, right? Anyway, he put that up and he left, and I went over to look at it. He was starting a new business, tours to the top of WATERTANK, and now it is a huge, thriving business up there. Not just his, probably many people followed his. Well, that's what happens in Guatemala. You start one thing and then everybody else is going to do the same thing if they see you're making money. Right at this moment, I want to show you, I moved my terrace garden. These are all branches I've cut down that supposedly we'll use for various things, mainly probably for burning in the brick pizza oven that I built. But for now, anyway, they need water. They didn't get water yesterday, so I really need to get water. I got all kinds of stuff growing here. My most important thing growing here is hidden in the shade right now, is this. Can you see my finger there? I can't see my finger. This is a raspberry. Yeah, that's a raspberry. I had many, but the person that was supposed to take care of them while I was in the United States a year ago let about 7 raspberry plants die. Didn't water them. Anyway, that's another story. I don't want to get into that one either. Anyway, there you go. So for now, I'll get this drained out. Looks like it stopped draining. That means I got to lift it up a little bit more. No, it's still draining. You can see right down there, it's draining. So anyway, this is really a mess here. It's all was temporary stuff, waiting to see what was going to happen with my system. I'm going to have to cut these and lower them. And this was to allow air to come out, because I had a problem with air when I first started using the tank. Had a problem with air pockets in the tubing, so I wasn't getting water in the house. So I put this up to let the air out. As you can see, it's above had to be above the tank, so that the water wouldn't come out here too. But it allows any air to escape. That's going to be gone. This is the thing I'm talking about, the pump. You recognize that, right? So the pumps I had before, they were leaking over here, or the one pump that I had before that I was leaking over on this side. And what the deal is, I cut this, you can't do it with one hand, I cut the little braces out of the middle of this tube right here that held it to this part, so that I can slide it down over the edge of the tank. Okay, and so it works great, but they were leaking over here. This one out of that's Spanish for now. Now this one leaks on this side, which is cool because it's going into the water anyway. Okay, so there you have it, my Mickey Mouse situation. Now, this is a mess. Nobody understands this. These, they don't look like it, but these are potter plant. What do you call those? Anyway, containers to pot plants for this wall over here, where I'm going to have a whole row of plants. The main thing I want to aim at is herbs. Well, everything I basically use in the kitchen. basically for my pizza and for my, what I call huevo son. Huevo is egg in Spanish. And when you say huevo son, it's like saying big huevos, big eggs. So, poor guy, I don't have any sugar to give you, buddy. Oh, you can fly. I thought he couldn't fly. He was just down here eating the muck off where the water was before. This whole thing was filled with water here, up to here, sometimes all the way over to here, from the leak that thing had. But the first thing I did was reroute the water so that it goes down below, which I'll give you a glimpse of that handiwork. The water was leaking out of here, and pouring onto the frame and getting onto here and just filling the whole place with water. So I cut this bottle, a hole in the bottle to catch the water, and then this one, and I didn't know it, but it just so happens that a hose fits perfectly on one of these Pepsi bottles. So that was my situation, draining water down here. So that cut this off, but it still had the leak over on this side and around the edge. It's coming from that thing in there. So anyway, that's that. Okay, this is the tree that I cut down, the top of the tree. I topped it, and I'll have to cut all the branches. But first things first, you know, I have more projects than I have fingers to count them on. So, Lord willing, I'm going to get to them. Okay, have a good day.